ICT 19 November paper 3 spreadsheet. Let us start this exam from the beginning. Let us do the evidence and do the spreadsheet part. Actually, this is such an important exam with some ideas, with some level of difficulty. It was a surprise. That's the level of difficulty was a surprise in 2019, but not now. It is not a surprise anymore because we have seen even more difficult exam questions. Let us get trained a bit by bit to reach the level we want for getting ready to 2022 exams. Let us do the evidence. Task 1 evidence document. Open the file N19 evidence.rtf. So these are the source files. These are the source files. The exam wants me to open N19 evidence.rtf. So I double click. Enable editing. There are some questions in here. Some questions I need to fill. Actually, that sort of questions, they don't come anymore. But let us do this exercise because that sort of question may come in theory. Okay. Enter your name, center number, candidate number, so they will appear on every page of this document. Okay, time to insert header, blank header, and in the header, put your candidate details. And close header and footer. Save this as a word process document. You need to do a save as and change it from RTF, change it from rich text format into Word document. In your work area, so the current folder, with the file name N19 evidence, added to it your candidate number. So file, save as, current folder, change the rich text format into Word, add to it your candidate number, that is 0001, for example. And OK to this upgrade warning like usual. Okay. You will need to place answer to questions. Okay, we will answer the questions this time, but starting from 2020, no questions come in the evidence anymore. And the screenshots, okay, we know that the evidence file is all about taking screenshots. Task 2 spreadsheet. So spreadsheet is Excel. You are going to prepare an invoice. I think this example is kind of realistic. You prepare a professional invoice that can be used in a shop and it will look professional. We will be a bit in difficulty in creating equations for it, but it will be professional. So we will prepare an invoice using a spreadsheet for super disk sales. This is the name of the company I'm supposed to be working for, but this is just a scenario. This company makes and sells storage devices. Okay, all prices are in euros. In the exam, when it says apply appropriate formatting, so anything that is money, make it currency, and the currency symbol should be euro, and you have to set to 2 decimal places. Maybe they will not tell you this again. Remember, currencies will be euros, 2 decimal places. Open and examine the files ninvoice.csv, ssd.csv and separate in a spreadsheet package. When the exam says open and examine, it means some information you will need to discover yourself. They will not be telling every single detail in the question. Things you have to discover yourself. How can you discover things? By training, by doing so many exercises. You will be familiar how things go. Okay, now I need to double click on that invoice.csv. This is invoice.csv. Double click. Definitely, after opening a file, I select all and double click between the A and B. I call this select all, double click auto fit. So here is 2, super disk sales, less than 10, discount is 0, less than 20, discount is 0. Less than 50, discount rate is 0.1. I have here a table of discounts. Invoice, product code, number of items, make, model, capacity, unit price, price. Why am I doing this? Because it says examine. I'm looking at the data in the file. Let us also open that ssd.csv and have a look at it. SSD, select all, double click between A and B, and this is auto fit. Select all, double click between A and B, auto fit. From my experience, I think this will be the table array for a VLOOKUP. I will do a VLOOKUP with the code. And if I choose column index number to 1, this will be the, and I'm sorry, to 2, this will be the unit price. If I choose column index number to 3, it will be capacity in gigabyte. 4 will be the make, 5 will be the model. Unit price, capacity, make, and model. See? Make, model, capacity, unit price. I think I will need all of these. Probably I will do here a VLOOKUP. Here will go the product code. Here I will do a VLOOKUP to get the make based on the product code here. Here I get the model. Here do VLOOKUP to get the capacity. Here a VLOOKUP to get the unit price. The only problem is that cell is empty. The cell unit price that I will build all the VLOOKUP upon is empty. Okay, let us continue and the exam will become clearer to us as we go. Let us do the formatting. That formatting thing is worth 9 marks. Let us first do the formatting and get all these 9 marks, because later on things may become difficult. That 15-mark thing, I think, is very difficult. We will go through it, no problem. But when the exam puts a 15-mark question, this is too much. But if we solve this, probably the exam is over or almost over. Okay, let us go first and collect marks bit by bit, and let's not lose any of them. Using the invoice file. So please do all your working on the invoice file. This will only be the table array for VLOOKUP. So we do everything in the invoice file. Merge A1 to G1. So A1 to G1, and this button, merge and center. Merge A9 to G9. A9 to G9, and this is merge and center. So here merge and here merge. Format both. Can we do both together? I highlight this and click on the control button and I highlight this. Now, whatever I do will apply to both. Both white on black background. Let us do this first. So the text will be white and the fill will be black. See, working on both. Center, they are already centered. 30 points sans serif, so 36 points, 36 point. Sans serif, Calibri is okay, and Arial is the official sans serif. Okay, okay, done. Okay, done. What else? Format the top of the spreadsheet to look like this. I did that and that. What else? You have to figure out things yourself. Like, for example, the height of row 2 is a bit narrower. The height. Go here, click, and move upward. So the height of row 2 is narrower than others. What else? These are bold. And also this feature is called wrap text. To appear, yeah, also 8 and 10 are narrow. 8 is narrow and 10 is narrow. Okay, let us highlight these. Let us make the font bigger. 16 is okay. And use that button wrap text. See, wrap text will make them on 2 lines. I need this. I need this. Let us make them bold. This button is horizontal center, and this button is vertical center. I need them both. So now they are centered vertically and horizontally. See, this one is centered horizontally and vertically. Okay, but please, one thing the exam never allow. They never allow for a split word. So price is a split. Price is a single word. Split on 2 lines, they never like this. What shall I do? You can make the width of column G a bit wider. Unit price. Maybe you'd like to make the width of column F a bit narrower, so unit price is forced to be on 2 lines. Capacity, make it wider. Make it wider. Number of, make it narrower, so the off comes on the second line. Okay, and that's enough. Okay, this is perfect. What else shall I do? Look here. I highlight these. I use wrap text, center horizontal and center vertical. Make them a bit bigger. Yeah, so now wrap text is working. What else shall I do? I think these cells need to be formatted as percentage. These cells need to be formatted. This button is percentage style. Okay. Okay, I think I'm done. Yeah, if, for example, you can think that H is a bit narrow. Maybe you do this. H is a bit narrow. Okay, what else shall I do? At the bottom of the spreadsheet, see those cells. At the bottom of the spreadsheet, format only the cells which contain text to be bold and look like this. Make this bold, make this bold, make these bold. Apply wrap text. So here, apply wrap text and make it center, horizontal, and vertical. Here, apply wrap text and make it center, horizontal, and vertical. Here, apply wrap text, make it center, horizontal, and vertical. If you make it narrow, it will wrap. But here, product is split. I would recommend make this bigger. I would recommend make this bigger. I would recommend making these bigger. Yeah, I think now I have collected all the marks. This is 9 marks, formatting 9 marks. 9 marks are a lot. Okay, I did my best. I did my best formatting. Save this as a spreadsheet. You need to do a save as and change it from .csv into a spreadsheet. This is very critical. Into Excel workbook with the name invoice followed by your center number underscore candidate number. For example, like this. Okay, file, save as, current folder. It is very critical to change it from CSV. CSV is text. All the formatting will be lost. To the one at the top, Excel workbook. Make the name invoice underscore your own center number, your own candidate number, and save. Okay. Okay. Another 2 easy marks. That is about header and footer. Another 2 easy mark. And that crazy 15 mark, and the exam will almost be done. Place the text, invoice date, followed by automated date, left align in the header. So, insert header and footer. Now I am in the header. Go to the left and put in it invoice date. So this is invoice date and a space. Followed by automated date. This button is called current date. It will take the date of today and put it in place. So invoice date and that button. What else? Your name, center number, candidate number, right align in the footer. I need to go to the footer. This button takes me to the footer. Go to footer. And go to the footer right aligned. And put your candidate details. That is name, EG 0070001. Okay. Okay, I'm done. I would like to exit the header and footer. How to exit the header and footer. Click anywhere outside the header and footer. See also the date is working. Click anywhere inside the spreadsheet, and then click view and go to normal. Headers and footers will be hidden, but they will be there. They will be there when you print. Okay. Okay, let us go to that one big thing. I will do every effort to make this clear. Even sometimes I need to do the task a little bit incomplete. So you get the idea. So sometimes I do it incomplete, and then I remove and I do it in a complete way. Place functions in cell C12 to F12. So in here, C12 to F12. To look up the make, model, capacity, and unit price. When the exam says lookup, it is either VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. How can I tell? This is the file with the data. And as this file is a normal vertical table, a normal table that consists of columns, I will do VLOOKUP on this column, and column index number 2 will get me unit price. Column index number 3 will get me capacity in gigabyte. Column index number 3 will get me the make. Column index number 4 will get me the model. Then it is VLOOKUP because the table is vertical. Once in an exam, I had the table horizontal and I had to do HLOOKUP. Now I will do VLOOKUP. Using the product code, I have to do lookup using VLOOKUP using the product code. This is the product code. The problem is the product code is empty. If I do VLOOKUP on an empty cell and I work correctly and I do the correct VLOOKUP, it will produce an error message because the cell is empty. I have an idea. I can put some data in this cell and build my VLOOKUP on it and then remove that data. This is not wrong. This is sometimes the exam recommends that you do this. So the product code for the lookup value. So my idea is I will put some data in that product code cell so that when I build a VLOOKUP on it, it will produce some results. Let us try. Let us try. The product code must be something of these codes. Actually, if you go down in the exam, but after you do all this, it will ask you to type the code SSD8, SSD34, and print. But it's not telling me here to put anything. I put anything. I will just put anything just to see that my functions are working. Or maybe, and delete before I print. So it must be very clear that I must use some of these codes in here. Okay. I will type here SSD1. I type here SSD2 and go down. I will type here SSD 20. Do I have SSD 20? Yes, I have SSD 20. So I have written here some codes that may help me build equations. So place functions in cell C12 to F12 to look up the make, model, capacity, and unit price of this item using the product code for the lookup value and the external file ssd.csv for the array. It is very fine. Up to here, it is very fine. I can just do it. But there is even more demands. Let us do it for the moment. And please notice that this is not a complete answer. What I'm doing right now is not a complete answer because there are even more demands that I don't want to look right now. I don't want to look at right now. Just let us practice. Just let us practice and understand it a bit by bit. I'm not in a hurry. Let us try to understand. It is very simple. I will do fx VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this code. And as it is filled with a code, I will not get an error message. The table array, I go to the other table and highlight everything except the title. Highlight everything except the title. Column index number, I would like to get, I'm sorry, please cancel. I put the pointer here in the make. I should not work in this number of items. I put the pointer here in the make. Let us do it again. In the make, fx VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this code. Table array, I go to the other file, highlight everything except the titles. And as I'm looking for the make, column index number 1, 2, 3, 4, column index number should be 4. And range lookup should be false. And okay. See, working without error. However, if the cell is empty, there is an error. If the cell is not empty, there is no error. Okay, okay. Let us go now and read the rest of the question because what I have done so far is not the complete answer. But it is a practice or it's a step toward finding the complete answer. Let us read this. Make sure that if no data is entered in the product column, then nothing is displayed. No, I'm not having, if nothing is written here, an error message is displayed. The exam wants me. If nothing is written here, instead of that error message, that hash NA thing, I would like the cell to be empty. What shall I do? Because eventually I will replicate it down till here. So the exam wants a professional invoice. If you have a professional invoice, you type here SSD 5, you get the name. You leave it empty, you get it empty. You cannot have a professional invoice with those NA printed. So the answer is more complex than what I did. But what I have done is part of the answer. What I have done is part of the answer. Okay. Let me do it now the correct way. In order to achieve all what the question is demanding, I will put an if with VLOOKUP inside of it. I will say if the cell is empty, produce an empty cell. Otherwise, do the VLOOKUP. And this is the answer, and this is the whole thing. Not that big problem, because in more recent exams, they even demanded for more than this. Okay, let us now do it as it should be done. Let us now do it as it should be done. Click on this button, click on this button, and fx, let us have if. Let us have the if function. My logical test will be if this cell A2 greater than, smaller than, means not equal to. So my condition will be if this cell greater than, smaller than, means not equal to, double quote means not equal to empty cell. My rule is if A12 is not equal to a blank cell, if A12 greater than, smaller than, means not equal to. Speech mark means empty cell. Speech mark followed by another speech mark means equal to empty. So my rule, if the cell is not equal to empty. Value if true, I will do a VLOOKUP. The very same VLOOKUP I just did right now. Value if false, it should display empty cell. To convince VLOOKUP or if to display an empty cell, put here 2 successive speech marks. So the logical test A12 not equal to speech marks means not equal to empty. Value if true, I will do the VLOOKUP. Value if false, it will be empty. Okay, let us do now the VLOOKUP. How to insert VLOOKUP inside if. This button will not help me. Here, I have to go into here. I don't want to insert if inside an if. I would like to insert VLOOKUP. So I am standing here. I'm standing here and VLOOKUP. Lookup value will be this cell. Table array. I go to the other file, highlight everything. Except the title. Column index number 4, because this is the make. Range lookup false. And okay. Okay, let us play with it. Let us play with it. Code here, the make is written. No code, it is empty. This is what I need. Please go and replicate down till here. This is a professional invoice, because here, if you type SSD 15, it is displaying. If it is empty, no error message. Okay? What we did here, we have to do it again here with a different column index number, and do it here with a different column index number, and do it here with a different column index number. We can do it again, or we can copy the code. Let us copy the code. Let us copy the code. Highlight this and copy, and click on button escape. Put the pointer here and in here and paste and click enter. Put the pointer here and in here in the formula bar and paste and click enter. Put the pointer here and in here in the formula bar and paste and click enter. Okay, here column index number is 4. That's why it is getting the make. I would like the model. Model in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Model in 5. Please put here 5. Capacity and go to the one here. Capacity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Capacity is in 3. Capacity is in 3. Here unit price. Unit price is in 2. If you don't have the skill to do this, because this is very professional, what I'm doing, just do it again. Do the if with VLOOKUP here again, and do the if with VLOOKUP here again, and do the if with VLOOKUP here again, and everyone with the appropriate column index number. And when you're done, remember to replicate down till here. If you think what I have done is rather complex, let us do it over and over. Okay, I will remove all these. What I have done is that I did an if with VLOOKUP inside of it, with column index number 4 to get the make. Let us go into here and repeat everything except column index number will be 5 to get the model. Let us do the if with VLOOKUP inside of it over and over. Okay, fx, and this is the if. The logical test. This cell A12 greater than, smaller than, means not equal to, double quote means not equal to an empty cell. Value if true, I will do the VLOOKUP with column index number 5 to get the model. But before I do this, I go to value if false and put double quote in order to display an empty cell. Let us get back to the value if true and do the VLOOKUP. I click on that arrow and get VLOOKUP. The lookup value is this cell. The table array is that other table. Highlight all the table. Column index number, this time I'm looking for the model. Column index number is 5. And range lookup is false. And okay. And replicate. Okay. The only difference between this and that is that here column index number 4, here column index number 5. Let us do it again if with VLOOKUP to get the capacity. So fx, and this is if. The logical test, this cell is not empty cell. Value if true, I will do a VLOOKUP. But before value if false, I put a speech quote, a speech mark to display nothing. Let us go to the lookup, to the value if true and do the VLOOKUP. I'm looking for the capacity. So from here, VLOOKUP. The lookup value is this cell. Table array is that table. Everything is repeated. Everything is repeating. Column array is this table. Okay. Column index number is 3 to get the capacity. Column index number 3 to get the capacity. Range lookup is false to get exact match. And okay, and replicate. The last one for unit price. We do if with side of it VLOOKUP. Fx, and this is if. The logical test. This cell greater than, smaller than, speech mark, speech mark. Value if true, we will do a VLOOKUP. Value if false, we put speech mark, speech mark. Let us here do a VLOOKUP to get the unit price. So from here, VLOOKUP. Lookup value is this cell. Table array, we go to the other file. Everything is repeated except column index number 2 to get the unit price. Range lookup is false to get exact match. Okay, and replicate. Okay, now I am done with that 15 mark question. That was the hardest part in the exam. Let us go on, and hopefully the rest will not be that difficult. Okay, we're done with that 15 marks. Why does it have 15 marks? Because it's an if with VLOOKUP, and then you have to do it here once with column index number 4. You have to do it here again with column index number 5. You have to do it here again with column index number 3. You have to do it here again with column index number 2. And then you replicate down. You replicate down till here. ماشي? We did here. We have here some product codes just to test our model. We will remove them before we print. The exam will demand this. Let us go ahead. In cell G12, this is cell G12, the price. Enter a formula to multiply number of items by unit price. So here is supposed to be a number of items. If I multiply that number of items with the unit price, I get here a price. But it is not that easy. It is not that easy. Let us read the rest of the question. Make sure that if no data is entered in the number of item column, it say if this cell is empty, then nothing is displayed. Again, it's another if, inside of it an equation. It is not if with VLOOKUP inside. No, it is if with multiply inside. Let us, for example, put here some value. This is 10. And here, if it was simple, but it is not. If it was simple, I would have just equal this 10 multiplied by that unit price. But it is not that simple. Let us do it the correct way. Again, fx and get me an if. Fx and get an if. The logical test. If the cell that is B12 greater than, smaller than, means not equal to an empty cell, we do the multiplication. Otherwise, we produce an empty cell. Just like what we have been doing with if with VLOOKUP inside of it. So it is if with some multiplication inside of it. What is that multiplication? That is number of items multiplied by the unit price. All of this to have such a professional invoice. So again, we do here an if. The logical test B12 is not empty. Greater than, smaller than, empty quotes. If this is false, we put here empty quotes. If it is full of data, we put here the multiplication, that is B12 multiplied by F12. And okay, and replicate. It looks professional because if you put here 1, you get some price. If you don't put here anything, you get it empty. So this is what's supposed to be. Let us put here, for example, 5. Let us put here, for example, 1. In order to be able to build the model. And before we do the print, we will erase those values. Replicate this formula from 13 to 23. Okay, I did a replicate of all of these because the invoice is that big. The invoice is that big. In cell B24, let us go down to cell B24. This is cell B24, that is total items. In cell B24, enter a function to calculate the total number of items ordered. You can put here some items, you can put here some items, and here and there, down till here. I would like to sum all numbers written here and put it here. Okay, this is function sum. This is function sum. Fx and sum these values and okay. Well, 16. Okay. In cell G24, this is cell G24. Enter a function to calculate the total of the price column. I would like to sum all these into here. Again, another sum. Fx sum these values. And okay. See? Equal sum. Another big question that is 4 marks, but we can manage through it easily. We can manage through it. Place in cell E25. This is cell E25, the discount rate. Nested if functions. Thank you. The exam is telling you how to do it. You have to place several ifs inside each other. Nested if functions to display the discount rate percentage. Referring to the data in columns I and J. These are the data in columns I and J. Depending upon the number of items ordered. So depending upon this. Okay, let me try to interpret. If this number is less than 10, the discount rate will be 0. Else, if this number is less than 20, the discount rate will be 5. Else, if this number is less than 50, the discount rate will be 10. Else, without other ifs, the discount rate will be 20. Note that discount rate in cell J6 is used if total number of items does not meet the criteria I3 to I5. Exactly what I have said. Let us do several nested ifs. Let us do several nested ifs in E25. This is E25. Let us do it in an easy way. Put the pointer here, fx, and if. The logical test, if this cell, the logical test, if this cell smaller than 10. In this case, the discount will be this one. If not, I get another if. The logical test, if this cell smaller than the second one. In this case, the discount will be this one. If not, let us get another if. The logical test, if this cell is less than that 50. In this case, the discount will be 10%. If not, the discount will be 20%, and that's it. See? So, depending on the value in here, you get here several if functions. If that value is less than 10, you get 0%. If not, if it is less than 20, you get 5%. If not, if it is less than 50, you get 10%. If not, you get 20%, and that's it. That's why I'm having here 16. So 16 is something less than 20. So I'm getting here 5%. Is this 5%? Yes. If you'd like to see that this is 5%, please click on that button. Yeah, it is 5%. Okay. Okay. The rest is very easy. Place in cell G25 a formula to calculate the discount amount, which is the discount rate multiplied by the price. Okay, okay. So equal the discount rate, that is E25, multiplied by the price before discount. This is the discount. Price before discount multiplied by the discount rate, and press enter. Easy one more. Another easy one more. Place in cell G26, this one, a formula to calculate the total, which is price before discount minus the discount. So price before discount minus the discount. So here I press equal and click on that cell, that is G25, minus that cell, that is G25. It is G24 minus G25. And enter. So this is the price after reducing the discount. Apply appropriate formatting to all cells containing numeric values. Okay. These are or will contain numeric values. And click on control, highlight these. These are all the cells that may contain numeric values. The exam is saying at the beginning, at the top of it, all currencies should be euro, 2 decimal places. Okay. All currencies should be euro, 2 decimal place. Right click, format cell, and make it currency. Decimal places 2. And look here for the euro symbol. Look here for the euro symbol. Yes, here. I like this one. Euro 1 to 3. I don't like this one. 1 to 3 euro. I like this one. Okay. So all in currency. Save your spreadsheet. Okay. Save. Print the entire spreadsheet showing the values. These are values. What? I have a problem here. Double click to make the column wider. Please note, you will not yet have entered data in this invoice. What does this mean? This means you shouldn't have written anything here. What can I do now? Remove them. Remove them. It is so full of zeros. No problem. I am confident that if some values go in here, my invoice will work properly. Okay, see, you will not yet have entered data into this invoice. Beautiful English. Make sure print out fits on a single page. Content of all cells are fully visible with no split words. Grid lines are displayed. Let us display grid lines. Page layout, print titles. This is grid lines. And also row and column headings. Row and column headings are displayed. And let us see if it will print fits on a single page. Let us see if it will fit on a single page. It will not, because that dotted line means this will be on a page and this will be on another page. Let us try. Print as I expected. They are on 2 pages. What shall I do? I need to scale. I need to scale to fit. Instead of printing it 100% and the width is automatic, make the width 1 page and the height 1 page, and automatically it is scaled to 76% and print. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. You should have a printer. If you don't, I may print it into PDF. And I call it printout 1. And this is 19 November paper 3. Okay. This is my first printout. Okay. What else? Print your spreadsheet showing formulae. Yeah, very important to print formulas. Formulas. Show formulas. See, all those formulas need to be printed. But please remember, select all, double click auto fit. Because if half of the formula is not showing, you get half of its mark. Make sure it is in landscape orientation, page layout, orientation, landscape. Row and column headings are displayed. They are. And grid lines are also displayed. Contents of all cells are fully visible. Again, this is select all. Double click auto fit. But I have a problem here. I would like you to notice. The exam did not say fits on a single page. See, it will print as 40% of its size. I'm afraid this will be too small and the examiner will not be able to read my formulae. See, print. It is so small. And the exam did not ask to fit on a single page. The exam did not ask to fit on a single page. Okay, please remove that 1% and make it automatic, and remove that one page and make it automatic, and make it here 100% and print it in full. Print it in full scale. Print. It will take 6 pages. Who cares? This is the right answer. Let us print it again as PDF, but call it print out too. Okay? Before this invoice will be used, it needs to be tested. Let us do this test one, even though that kind of questions will never show again in practicals, but let us do it. It is very easy. It won't take a minute. But please let us exit the formula view, formulas, close formulas. Okay. But remove split words, arrange it the way you wish. I know it is time consuming. Arrange it the way you think it should be. Okay. Before this invoice will be used, it needs to be tested. Test 1 will use normal data, including SSD1. So it's asking you here to put SSD1. So fill in here. This is test 1. You have to fill here. This is test 1. Type of test data. This is normal test data. And here is asking you to put SSD1. In what cell? In what cell shall I put SSD1? SSD1 will go in cell A12. Type here A12. Why you selected this? The exam is telling you because it is the first product in the data source. It is the first product in the data source. What else? What else? What are the other data items that you should put to test? I think, for example, I shall put here like 10. There should be some number of items. So, for example, I should put 10 in cell. This is cell B12. Why am I putting 10? Because 10 is easy to calculate. What is the expected outcome? I think the expected outcome, 10 multiplied by 84, so I expect the outcome would be 840. I expect the outcome to be 840, which is the exact outcome. Okay, done with this. Done with this. I did all this. I did all this. It is written, I did it. The last thing, edit and complete your table. Enter the address. So please type here in the address. Type here in the address that Tawara Technology Solutions. And type this also. In the exam, you cannot copy and paste. Why does this go right aligned? Make it left aligned. And enter the item SSD8. So put here SSD8 and number of items 10, and here SSD34, and here one item. Okay, the invoice is working. Print it. Print only, not a simple print. Print only. Let us study this as well. And this is the last thing. Print only cells A1 to G26 showing the values. Only A1 to G26. See, everything except those. How can I print part of the spreadsheet? There are several ways. One of them is to highlight and go and print only the highlighted place. Another way is to page layout, print area, set print area. Set print area. Only that dotted area will print. But print outfits on a single page. I think I have to make it portrait again. And I have to make it that one page by one page again. Row and column heading are not displayed. Print titles. Remove row and column headings. Content of all cells are visible with no split words. No split words. Let us print. Okay, a perfect invoice. Let us print into PDF. And this is print out 3. And that was the last part of the question. 49 marks, which means more than half of the exam. Thank you very much.